DRX वर्सेस NRG देखते हैं यार अच्छी टीम नहीं देखने वाला था
Hey guys, Mika here now with Ethan of
ओके
NRG.
10
You
मिनट है
called an amazing game versus EDG last time, so
10 मिनट है
congratulations to you for that. I wanted to know, how proud were you that the resilience of the team really came out on the champion stage? Because a lot of teams struggle with that sometimes. That like, oh, what we practice doesn't come out on stage, but for you guys, it did.
Yeah, having
हेलो
showed
माइक
that,
माइक
especially first
ओके
map
ओके
of champs,
10 मिनट के
was
बाद
huge for the team.
मैच चालू
We
होगा
were
सो
morale, and I think it showed just how confident we are in ourselves.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Eager to see more of it
तो
on
हम
stage.
वार्म अप कर लेते
We gotta go and get one of those jackets.
हैं इनका
I
ये
feel like
देखते
all the
रुको
players have
मैं
been
भी
great
वार्म
and
अप के लिए
it looks so sick.
लोग क्या करते हैं
But
कि
I
वही
think Ethan
करूँगा
is right there, them being able to stay calm, cool, collected, because on the other side, DRX had a very similar storyline of being resilient, of having good mental, grinding it out against the #1 seed in Team Liquid. Confidence has got to be at all-time high, Tom.
Yeah, especially when you come in with a completely new brand of play and make it work almost seamlessly from the get-go. Like, that was what sort of impressed me most, is like, you coming in, you're the IGL of a squad, you're coming up with like some fairly crazy aggressive stuff, and then you just have full faith in your team in moments like this where you're sticking defusals in front of very experienced, tenured players in Valorant. Marco didn't give a damn. He didn't care who was on the other side of the server. He was going to play his own game.
Yeah, the kind of experienced players who know exactly where a teleporter is and how not to step into it by accident.
Yeah, Tom was talking about that earlier, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very unfortunate moment. I don't think any of us need to be as cruel as Tom was about it.
Yeah,
but
that was a bit too far, Tom.
it was, and I think he should know better. But the reality is, for DRX, they forced those mistakes out of their opposition. And I think I look to NRG as a team that also did that in their series up against EDG. Again, it's very few errors far between, but an incredibly tight series. But it wasn't
ओके
the
मैंने
same
देख लिया ये लोग
for,
क्या प्रैक्टिस कर रहे
DRX.
हैं
They came in, they looked
नहीं,
dominant.
इनका
I mean,
अच्छा
it
है
was a close
वार्म
thing.
अप के लिए
If I'm
क्या
not mistaken, Abyss was a 6-6-half, and once they swapped over, a completely different brand from them. They were looking dominant. And in fact, even the start of it, wasn't it like 5 or 6-1 up while Team Liquid couldn't figure out that waylay Yoru?
Yeah.
And then eventually they cracked the code, but the defense looked even stronger, which was the surprising thing for me with how much dominance they had with that play.
ओए
Yeah, shout out to
सिंगापुर
Korean
चल रहा है
Zelsas as
यार
well. Baby Zelsas, we just saw
5
him on
मिनट्स का
screen there.
बैन
Bane, I think there was a lot of
62
questions
का
on
पिंग चल रहा है
whether
मैं
he
मेन
could
आईडी
step
पे
up
खेल रहा है
at
फिर आज
last minute into the role that we expect him to, and honestly, I have zero concerns about him
NID
after
pick
the
it
Liquid game.
No, he looked very comfortable. I think as well, like, this is the team that sort of like kicked off the year. I think this is the team that they wanted to be playing with, and I think
हाँ
you
मैं
can
भूल
see
गया मेरा
why.
लाइट
Like,
गया
there's a lot. It feels like there's a lot more synergy. I think individually as well, his level is
Rare
a fair bit
Vandal.
higher than Estrella. So I think that it makes sense that he's back in the roster, and the fact that it allows them to be a little bit more free with how they play looks great.
And of course, Human being the tip of that spear.
Let's go, main
as
ID जा रहा हूँ
well.
मैं.
We actually managed to get some of his thoughts on DRX's experiences at Champs so far in our Omen player moment.
I think we came into the Team Liquid match just to try and have as much fun as possible, and I think that played out pretty well, so I think that's what helped us win today. I guess for us and for my teammates included, we're just coming into this tournament sort of like a underdog feeling, so which makes like less pressure when we play the games and just, I guess, more energy and more fun. DRX has like this known curse that they always finish 5th to 6th place. To overcome that, I would think we just have to be honest, our teamwork is pretty good. So I guess just aiming better than them that day will help us win. So I'm just hoping that this champions, we can break that curse and I guess hope for the champions victory.
Seen this one before. A 1v2 chance for Marco. Nats on the other side. This time he delivers a Trex is on just 2 HP. He's had an insane round so far, but needs a little bit more. 20 seconds left. Marco can just opt to play the time, but he will reposition to perfect.
I feel that we have a different approach to the game than we did back in Pacific, and I think with more aggressive competitions
minutes,
that we
okay.
can play more aggressive,
Eru-
which means
put
we'll
out.
take on more fights. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say DRX is at 7 out of 10 right now. Yes, I think we have more to show.
रुका गोल आ गया
7 out of 10 is a good start, but honestly,
boost
with the
करने को
Biz
दिया।
being back in the pool and the way that
आज
they
इधर
play
क्या
the
है
Biz,
रिवर का
I
9
might bump that up to like a 8 or 9
ये
out of 10
ping
if they
चाहिए
can keep
ये ping।
farming on this map.
Yeah, for sure. I think the way that they were playing their combinations of that double duelist was just wonderful to watch. Like, I think we saw this quite often with the
late
aggros
night
that would
खेलूंगा।
come out from Waylay, the beautiful like setup where you're
My ultimate's ready.
The fact that someone's going through pretty much this. I mean, we don't see Waylay getting kicked out in that dash. I think this is 1.5 seconds on the gas is vulnerable before it gets a refract. So, like, you're getting info, you're getting out, and Score was able to take the space from front. It's an impressive thing to do, though, because that's really game just bring that trap on an opponent who isn't able to adjust. It's why I think DRX easily, despite what our poll said earlier,
My ult is ready.
They trolled because I don't want to disrespect
Have one of these.
but the best team is and the other one is hard to
Here,
find on DXL as well. So if they
on the attack.
yeah, if we go to a bit
Have one of these.
again be a great map to go and I don't want either teams to show
डीके डालने से कितना एचपी जाता है
Have one of these.
Yeah, I think
10
that's
HP
you have such
Have one of these.
a case of NRG.
पहले 1 एचपी तक जाता था ना
Here,
What is a very aggressive double dive that's hard to play against, and then you rely
here,
on being able to catch out their defense when the opponent of Liquid failed miserably at doing it. So
Have one of
I feel
these.
like it's a safe bet.
3,
for
2, 1
because I don't know on the other side NRG would be as hot.
भाई क्लो काफी अच्छा कंट्रोलर है लाइक अगर कोई ड्यूलिस्ट खेलना पसंद करता है बट ड्यूलिस्ट लाइक पता है ना एंट्री देना पड़ता है लाइक उसके मार नहीं सकते तो क्लो काफी अच्छा
it's a very good composition for breaking back through that.
dropping smokes.
हाँ, मस्त मारो
I want to see it though, no matter what. I mentioned already,
Refreshing.
बस किल भी मिलेगा
had a chance to catch ahead of
फिर
wonder how
hello.
you felt stepping in for champions and how the rest of the team was able to adjust
Oh, yeah.
to accommodate this.
선수를 만나게 됐는데
रहने दे
이제 챔피언스팔에 시간이 많이 부족했던 만큼 팀도 그렇고 베인 선수도 많은 노력이 필요했을 것 같아요. 그 준비 과정에 대해서 한번 들어볼 수 있나요?
일단 오랜 기간 팀 연습을 못했던 것만큼 팀에 좀 잘 스며들려고 노력을 했고요. 팀으로도 그렇고 저로도 그렇고 연습할 시간 해줘서 지금 좋은
क्या कर
결과가 나오고 있는 것
हर
같습니다.
क्या है
My main focus was to concentrate on blending into the team structure that was already happening from stage 2 and on. And because we didn't have a lot of time to fully prep
थोड़ा इसको
for
मोटा
Champions
बनाना
Paris, I think our main focus was to just make sure that we were vibing and we actually are killing it so far.
Well, yeah, DRX looks good out there. Kamsamnida Bain and good luck.
I love that. He's like, we haven't had much time to prep. Let's kill it.
ये
They
ज़्यादा
are
मोटा
killing it, aren't they? Are they going to continue to kill it?
I think so. I think
Oh.
imagine it like they did in the first match before. I don't think we'll get exactly as much success as we get with this. I think that'll be a really fun those clashes styles, but I don't know. I mean, that.
Me and are you
refreshing.
करूंगा स्ट्रेफ भी
They've impressed me more. The DRX, they certainly have a deep bench to fall back on.
Take it straight to playoffs here. It comes down to DRX and NRG. So time to see which one is going to be winning paper round today. I think certainly most people could be feeling a certain way. I think they were. So without further ado, sending.
चालू हो गया क्या? अभी तो प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे ये लोग फिर से उठा दिया उन्हें।
Both DRX and NRG were incredibly impressive in their opening games. Winning the games they weren't supposed to win. But here we go, the pressure is on once again. For one of them, it's going to be a huge advantage to get out of groups now. DRX always get out of the groups though, so even if they don't get out today, I have faith in them. But looking at the map pool, are we going to get the Abyss?
No.
Boo.
That was the interesting thing with the veto is both
The map
teams banned
लगाया
Sunset. So it was more who was willing to
Sunset
float it
flow
to then
equal
get
to
another
win.
ban. Interestingly, NRG have
Happy
taken
win
out the Abyss
ratio.
immediately. So clearly feeling like playing against that DRX is going to be difficult. But then DRX's first pick being Haven, I can only imagine they've completely reimagined what they've been doing because it didn't look good the last couple of times they played it.
That almost feels like a misclick when I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, throughout stage 2, they played it twice, didn't win it once. So it is definitely a strange look from the outside with just that data in front of you. But you think they're bringing Bane back. They're in a position now where they've had that little bit of time to recreate. They focused on their individuals. But I think this is probably going to be a comp shift or at the very least a playstyle shift from them when we get to servers.
I mean, this heavily favors NRG, you know, looking at the map pool, they get Lotus as well. This is a dream for the side of NRG.
Well, yeah, if you're going off history or the last few months of data, they have a better win record on every single map that we have in the pool, and Corrode and Lotus are their two best maps statistically. So, yeah, they're going to be in a great spot, but I have a feeling, based on what we've seen so far from DRX, all the data's going to go out the window.
They're going to bring 3 Odins.
No, I think they're
sure
going to
about that.
completely switch up pretty much every single comp we've seen from them. So, reading into what they're going to be doing, like, I'd be very surprised, for example, if we're seeing flashback on a Vice going into Haven, which is what he was playing before.
Yeah, and I think just touching on that as well, you said about Lotus and Road being their best, including Champs. They've played those two maps in total 11 times, lost once. That was a Lotus. Other than that, they have been dominant when it comes to this. So for NRG, this is and like I said, it's where they get the advantages in their map pool. When it comes to trading blows with DRX, it could be a different story based on what we've seen so far.
Looking at the agent
it's
select.
back. It's back.
Yeah, this is literally what you wanted to see, Ryan, what you predicted.
Yeah, I'm very happy. That double dive, it's obviously slightly different. Flashback going to be picking up the Neon, but I think that is a more comfortable choice on Haven in general as of recent. A lot of people bringing that in. On the other side of things, I don't believe any massive changes whatsoever. Keeping it to the comfort, which I think has worked out for the side of NRG. This definitely isn't their strongest map, and I think they will have known coming in, if this comes up, it's going to be a different story to anything they could have prepped.
I think without a doubt, NRG are coming in as the favorites, but with what DRX showed us up against Team Liquid, with what they showed us on Abyss in terms of reimagining, and now with Neon and the Waylay, they certainly have a shot at taking NRG down.
Our spot in the playoffs is on the line, so who better to take us through the action than Doug and Endo?
Thank you so much, Jinsu. Yeah, these two teams came out of the gate swinging. They show up on the stage here in Paris Christie, and now they're the ones duking it out for a chance at playoffs. I mean, you think about the strength of both of these teams. This should be an amazing match.
This is going to be absolutely incredible. America's #2 team coming up against a DRX that just had a big upset over Liquid in the opening round, and choosing to start things off on Haven with a new comp, the Waylay and the Neon for DRX, and they're looking to attack mid early.
Looks like they're already flirting that way. With Flashback, the first to contact. Already swinging out onto the side. You've got Utility dumped. Mata in a really tough spot. He will be the first to fall.
Really like this approach from DRX with this flank as well, coming into A. Freeing still on low HP, and now that Scuba has dealt with him, now the post plant might get a little bit more awkward. All of a sudden, you have to worry about your flanks if you're DRX, but they've got 3 players stuck on site.
Remember, Scuba was a stud for NRG in their last matchup, but this time it's Bane who's lighting up the kill feed. Psalm falls, and all of a sudden this attempt, the bite behind this retake gets lighter and lighter, and they continue to crumble. Just Scuba and Brock left. 2 most recent additions to the roster, forced to try to win this pistol out for the number 2 seed from Americas. Brock, too many targets to choose from. Scuba will find one left in 1v2. Mako weak. Time falling short. That dart's going to arrive a little bit late. If Scuba can get half, maybe there's a shot, but no. DRX will walk away with the pistol.
Bane, a guy who hadn't even played with DRX at all in Stage 2, comes in as a major surprise for the roster, for everyone who's watching Pacific.
किधर से मारा टप्पा
And yeah,
खाया पूरा.
DRX went out in that opening series with him in the lineup, and now it's him picking up 3 kills in the pistol here to set his team up for success.
Yeah, Christy, you and I were talking about this prior to the match starting, and it really feels like DRX.
Wait, 1 second.
Yeah, Christy, you and I were talking about this prior to the match starting, and it really.
Road and Lotus being 2 of the, I mean, just straight up.
नीचे देख रहा था मुझे लगा स्टेज कर रहा है ऐसे.
This is very much a must win for them.
बस स्टेज
Well,
कैसे
now
कर
that
रहा
means
है.
converting cleanly on a anti-eco round where there's this really crazy Viper wall that's been thrown down into mid. It can threaten these walkouts of B out of garage, so I think DRX putting a lot of resources in now. This drone to make sure no one stepped up behind that. They're also leaving Freeing in that space. Although NRG are stacked pretty heavily towards C, which is where the finish will be for DRX.
All huddling down C now. Again, utility dumped out onto the site. DRX in firm control of the space, and the kill feed suggests the same.
Yeah, the triple Guardian purchase for DRX just absolutely torching NRG in this round. And I think now's a good time to talk a little bit about the comp for DRX, because this is unique, you know, the Neon Waylay coming in here on Haven. But I think the Waylay and the Neon give so much creativity for DRX to get into sites. You can already see it in these first 2 rounds, especially the verticality that Hyunmin's going to be able to access with the Waylay. You saw in those B execs, he can jump up on top of site, while the dive into backside is coming in so quickly with the Neon. And you're going to see the same thing on these C execs with dashes, double dashes up onto platform or up onto default. Same thing with the A site. I think it's going to be really difficult for NRG's anchors to survive, and that's going to be the challenge for them with the double smokes comp. How can they use these smokes to just stay alive for the rotates to come in from their teammates?
Got an Odin already online for Brock.
Has been doing this even their last series, saving up, making sure it can get online early in these games.
I mean, Freeing's already tagged down to what, 17 HP?
There's a funky smoke as well that gives Mata a little bit of a peek, but it's not necessarily ready for Freeing to be up in that smoke.
Yeah, there's danger in that. Tries to spam, doesn't connect, and so he moves on. But the trap lies in wait. Mako, meanwhile, backside, besting the opposing Omen. And DRX lighted up once more.
That was mental, Doug. The double TP is on site from Mako. This guy called an absolutely ballistic round. You think about the Waylay and the Neon and how much activity you can get on these execs. The fact that Mako is the one to be jumping in back here, and then Ethan just teleports straight into him. So already the bonus round paying off massively for DRX.
Let's go!
And NRG in a miserable situation to open up the series.
Yeah, the finances for DRX should be good for a long time, and you know, you would generally look at this and go, hey, this is a really early timeout, but you know,
yeah,
conventional wisdom would agree. This is incredibly early, but given how these last couple of rounds have gone, I don't know that I necessarily mind.
I mean, the thing is, NRG now need to deal with these just fast execs. That's what DRX are running. We've seen 2 of these just instant B pops. We've also seen a lot of lurk pressure from Freeing. In these B exec rounds, it's been 2 rounds where Freeing is going into sewers looking for quick timings. And on the round where DRX were and setting up C, he still went for that late lurk through B and got a couple of kills on the flank. So these are the primary things NRG need to fix.
And their monitor settings.
And those 2, yeah.
Something that needs to be tweaked in there.
Oh, this isn't even a this is not a tech timeout. This is a tech timeout.
Oh.
That makes a lot more sense.
Right.
Yep. I mean, we're still going to be thinking about how to fix these things while you know, our monitors or whatnot get sorted out.
Yeah, that does make the early timeout a bit more.
ये क्या है?
It does make a bit more sense
Yeah.
now, doesn't it? Yeah.
No. It's yeah. You know,
ठीक है, अंदर
sometimes when the tech comes into play, you get a little bit of extra breathing room as well. You can try to
Right.
get your heads set back on straight again for NRG. But I have just heard that we are going to be jumping back in here in just a moment.
Thankfully, you know, we hadn't had one of these in a little while.
Yeah.
I kind of
Gaming
forgot
का
what we
क्या
were
है?
supposed to do.
Overdrive.
Yeah, you know, it's we're supposed to like fill, we're supposed to talk. Or do
Right.
What is
something.
overdrive?
Right,
I'm
right,
not
right.
too sure.
Normal export.
NRG also have to figure out what to do on a round like this where they've got absolutely no cash, although and you know what? Vindicated, Doug.
I don't know that I'm willing to go as far as to say we were vindicated.
No, well,
but-
because the thing is, we
but
were
you
talking
know-
a big game about how, like, hey, a timeout here makes
Right.
sense because you've just gotten beaten by
Right.
similar ideas.
Right.
Well, they are going to call the timeout
Right.
on top of that, aren't
You know, I'm gonna, for the sake of us being right, I'm gonna roll with it. Yeah. Vindicated.
they?
Sure.
And you know what?
What
This
is
gives us a
vindicated?
little chance, Doug, though, because I
हाँ,
thought it was cute
उनको
in that last
time
round
मतलब-
about Ethan and Mako both playing
समझ
the
गया,
omens,
समझ
they're
गया।
teleporting into each
Right,
other,
right.
killing each
तो
other.
time
That time
खत्म हो
Mako
गया,
got
इसने
the
time
upper
out दे
hand,
दिया
but
तो और
we
extra
were
time.
sort of looking at, like, what's the history of these two teams playing against each other beforehand, you know, because it's been a while since NRG was on the global stage. DRX, they're at every single champions. They've never failed to make it out of a groups, but the only real crossover history-wise with these two teams is Ethan versus Mako going all the way back to 2023. And that wasn't NRG versus DRX back then. That was him with that championship EG roster. Now in 2025, it's a very different situation. Ethan's got 4 different players alongside him, and now this last stage, he stepped into the position of IGL for the first time ever. So this is uncharted territory, Ethan versus Mako leading these two squads.
I do love a good bit of history. So with that in mind, we'll look forward into the 4th round. You've got an Outlaw in the hands of Freeing, 3-0, the way of DRX. The bonus was borderline flawless. And NRG have a number of problems that they need to solve, and they need to do so relatively quickly.
That initial hold is going to be a big deal for NRG. I think just figuring out if they can actually stop DRX from breaching through these choke points. And I think the early conditioning from DRX with a couple of B hits might end up pulling more members of NRG onto the B site to try and hold against this.
Yeah, Mata's already rotating that way.
Exactly, and that can free up space onto the A site where currently it is just going to be Brock, but I think the value of this Viper Orb right there is so high for just bringing rotates in, especially with that quick movement out of the Neon.
Mata gets tagged by the Paranoia. Women dashes out onto the site, and that's already another flawless double dive hit. I mean,
but this is where I think compositionally DRX just hit a gold mine up against
एक तो
NRG who are
निकालेगा
playing this
सॉन्ग।
old school style Viper composition. This Viper comp is all about flooding back into the site.
Right.
And as you can see right here, they get a couple of kills. But the fact is, the speed at which Neon and Waylay can get into backside means the flood never comes in because DRX instantly have full control of a site, which
Old का स्ट्रिंगर एकदम मस्त
metas
चलता
you'd
है।
never be able to accomplish.
स्ट्रिंगर लेना है तो बोल्ड।
I think a lot of this, you know, as we were just talking about, here's that
मेरे
Viper
लिए
Orb that
तो
just gets
वही अच्छा
disrespected.
लगा।
Yeah,
जी
when you've
अच्छा
got Waylay dashing over the top
मैंने
of it,
काफी
you know,
kills निकाले
fully
उससे।
diving behind the lines.
I think the trick now with that Viper Orb is I need to start seeing NRG players playing inside of it. They need to allow the Waylay and Neon to get past them and then find timings to punch the back line as they scale in, thinking the space is clear.
That's one of the things they'll have to solve. Another attempt at solving this bit of a mess is Mata's got an op online round 5.
I do like that. Take these longer fights. Of course, that op only going to be so meaningful if DRX plays slower rounds, which, as you can see, isn't really the vibe I'm getting from them.
No. Doesn't feel like it's been part of their game plan.
Yeah, so the other solution is you try to play full retake and, you know, use the
Waylay
smokes like
काफी
this
अच्छा
one
है
into
जन पे, by
backside
the
to
way।
threaten getting back in quickly, but this is going to be really hard again with that
और
operator
टीम के
that's now been
साथ ही
chucked
खेल
over to
सकते
Psalm's
Waylay।
hands.
Yeah, no real ultimates, excuse me, to speak
तो
of
आप
on the
घुस
side of
जाओगे
the
टीम
defense.
नहीं आएगा। एक
So they're
फर्स्ट
waiting for
ब्लड
just the
निकाल
right
लोगे।
moment to strike. Utility
बाकी
goes
लोग
out, the
कौन है?
dive through from Mata, tucking into the orb, finding the kill, make that 2, gets online with 3. Graffiti is his for the taking, as is the site for
Mata ने निकाल
NRG.
दिया।
That was absolutely gorgeous for Mata. Mako, the sole survivor here. does end up taking Mata down at the end of it, but NRG will get there first here up against DRX.
So what was the difference there? What did you see that was so drastically different from what we had seen the first 4 rounds?
I mean, 2 things here. First of all, NRG just full bail out of the site. They decide to play full retake. They don't want to deal with the Waylay ult at all.
Sure.
And then it's Mata here, that quick transfer onto the second player. And this is what I'm so impressed by with Mata consistently. This is why he's the ace king of Americas. 10 aces in his rookie year. No one's ever done that before in Valorant history. But he is so quick on transfers and seeing that pathway through these very complicated rounds. There he comes flying out of heaven, sliding in, playing off his stun. And if he's playing like that, these retakes are going to work, Doug.
Something he's going to have to continue to do. Once again, Freeing taking this cheeky little angle into a short.
Yeah, but he's beating the smoke that NRG are throwing as a bit of a default. That one we saw Mata peek over just a few rounds ago. And I think by dominating this A main space, it frees up the rest of the map for DRX to poke into a very weak C side where it's really just Som posted along with the op.
I mean, Brock is within striking distance, I suppose. Yeah, there's a little strength to this C. I think the question is, where did DRX decide to go here?
Yeah, this is interesting calling from the DRX camp. After so many quick rounds, this time it's slowing it down. It's a bit of a mid-test. Now a drone doesn't find anything.
Ah, they're going back B.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's always when Fring is A short, that's when they're popping into the B site, and this is no different.
I think one big difference here is remember the ults that they have at their disposal on the defense.
Really good retake ults, even denying the plant here with Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, Brock is already set up and spawned to do just that. So tap of the spike leads to the ult committed.
30 seconds left.
Well, fancy footwork will keep them alive, but will buy a little bit of time.
Ooh, NRG are a bit scattered, though. Now this Paranoia not going to be available in the retake, and Flashback is still fighting up.
Scuba has his ult. Flashback is in trouble. There's no real easy way out of this. You kind of have to take your heels in and try to take the fight. Meanwhile, the ult in exchange to try to clear out the lockdown will succeed.
इनको कैसे पता चलता है कि लॉकडाउन उधर ही हो and continue उधर ही मारते हैं?
And falls at the hands of it. Meanwhile, now Bane and Mako, 2 left standing side by side. And now it's just Mako in a 1v3. Brock signaling the defuse. We'll get it all the way there as NRG find a threat to pull on, and they continue to push where it hurts.
Yeah, it's just these full retakes. And I think in there you saw where a situation where NRG don't have all the utility in the world to fight with. But very good moment to call
like,
out of Ethan. First of all, they deal with that lurk, right? The timeout they called previously was all to deal with those lurks. But then NRG was set up to go to the 3 players over towards C-Link to start the rotate in. As soon as they heard Flashback flight up into A-Link, 2 of those players started shifting back over to deal with that forward aggression. And it was in that moment, I think, that NRG sort of saw the way to get back into the site.
Yeah, I think another thing that we have to mention there, I talked about him a little bit earlier, how pivotal he was to NRG's success in their last series, but Scuba seems to be warming up. 3 kills in that round, snappy with it too.
Sentinel Sentinel
Another quick tech pause.
Sentinel of light.
Right, another tech pause gear.
Oh, मैं अब
but yeah, I do think NRG have
like the
found
stream
a
जो भी
little
लोग
something here that they
मैं
can
वो
continue to rely
subscribe
on.
करो.
For sure.
एक pause आ गया. क्या आ
I'm
गया?
a little hesitant to be so overjoyed about how NRG have found success on the
Yeah,
last 2
take
full
pause
retakes,
काफी आ रहा है.
primarily because of the composition they're playing. You know, you think back to the early days when this comp came into the fore, it was all about the quick flood onto site. It was about never really allowing the plant to go down.
Sure.
Mouse pad मेरा इतना smooth चल
this
रहा है.
comp doesn't have
अरे
the
इसने तो
greatest
sign
retake
out ही
utility.
कर
You don't
दिया,
have
why?
like a bleach done, the flashes. You don't have the drill.
इसका sign out का अलग दिख रहा है.
And I think
हाँ,
this comp
server
is a
अलग
little
है,
bit
region
better
अलग
than
है.
when you saw this comp back in
हमारा वाला
22 or
कैसे दिखता
23
है?
because of the neon, you have that extra
नहीं
stun.
बताऊंगा.
It's a little bit better than the jet
Phoenix
in that
आता है
slot.
उसमें.
But it still shouldn't be so reliable that they can make these retake happen unless Mata or Scuba are finding
Directly game से out हो गया.
Right, sure. So we'll continue to look into that and see how that plays out. I am being told that we are ETA soon on getting back into the action.
देखो आ रहा है
Is that a
अभी.
technical term
Right.
soon?
Yeah, soon.
Ban मिलेगा उसे अब.
I think is what we call that one.
Right, yeah. And so assuming all goes well, we will be joining back into the game here in just a moment. If you are just joining us, welcome. You missed a banger of a first series, and now it's early days, but we do seem to have a bit of a fight on our hands between NRG and DRX. Both teams, again, walk into this series very confidently. Both had great opening starts. First half of Abyss for NRG notwithstanding. We don't really talk
we
about
ignored
that
that first half,
right? And I imagine they do too. But honestly, they've looked great up until this point, and now we're really getting to see these two teams clash with such wildly different stories. I mean, DRX go 0-2 in their playoff run, and they get in as the number 4 seed, and NRG surprise everyone, making it all the way to top 2, and ultimately falter. But talk about form coming into this. It's vastly different.
Yeah, I mean, I think expectations were high for a team like NRG because of what they did in the playoffs, and everyone's like, DRX at the 4th seed, they get it on points. Bane's coming back into the roster. That was a last-second, update. Like, what actually happened there? And yet, with DRX knocking down a number 1 seed, I mean, talk about how crazy this tournament has been. We've had 3 of our 4 number 4 seeds beat the first seeds from the opening regions in that opening matchup. Just absolutely wild stuff, but that has instantly put DRX into the conversation among the best here.
Yeah, well, it's because, they
ये नाइट चाहिए यार, पूरा वैंडल का बंडल ही चाहिए.
Right.
The number 1 seed bye.
We needed
Future में group
stage,
मैं purchase कर सकता
the
हूँ.
number 1 seed's going to deliver.
Exactly.
The classic
वो
coping.
नहीं मिलेगा.
Notwithstanding, we are back into the game now.
Level की ad.
And this time, Mata has reclaimed that operator away from Som, but it's been always these C-long holds from the op. And apart from the anti-eco, DRX ran in round 2. They haven't really gone heavy down long.
Just a bit short on that shock dart. That alarm bot will still be in play B. Wall goes up.
Contact.
Immediately proc. The Nano 2, they're double timing onto this. That was really cool. The Neon into B, the Waylay into Garage. And Scuba gets a kill.
Mata backside with this operator has to be forced out, fully spotted up, but he gets the kill off the lasers. He's still fighting through this site, tearing apart DRX. Mata finds 4.
It was a perfect call. I mean, it looked like he was the one who was in trouble. He was the one who was pushed back off the op, and he had the ace up his sleeve.
Yeah, the ace is stolen, of course, by the utility on this B site. The combination of the Volm plus the Nano Swarm there, but my word, Mata. Just a savant.
NRG coming to life at just the right time, and now it's DRX who will throw a pause on the situation. Let Termi get involved in the conversation, and we'll see. I mean, so we saw early on the double dive was working for DRX, and it was working quite effectively too. NRG started to make some adjustments, and this time things fell a little bit funny there. You could, you could chalk that hit up to a couple of different things that maybe aren't necessarily macro specific, but what's the adjustment here for DRX?
I mean, ultimately it's going to come down to the post plans. That last round, it's a fake one because they were running this like fake B hit with the Neon who was supposed to pinch back into C-Link, but we just died to utility, so it is what it is. The previous 2 rounds are the concern for DRX, and I think they need to look at how they are playing in tandem with one another on the sites. That A-hold when Mata slides out of heaven. There's 2 players right next to each other inside the Viper Orb. Mata kills them both. Neither of them saw him. How is that happening? On the B post plant, maybe Flashback is fighting too far forward on his own instead of falling back and playing, good angles together off one another. So that should be the way forward for DRX. Because as you said, apart from that last round, every single hit has been a success for DRX.
And so NRG will see what they do here. Again, it's time the op in the hands of Som.
Yeah.
And it's Odin still for Brock.
Mata was able to get boosted up here, jumping out of heaven onto default, over to the box, but it causes a really almost passive hold for NRG. On the C side, they're going to let their, Som and Scuba take these more forward lines for information. I think projecting that level of threat, very important in a comp like this, where usually Killjoy and Viper are the ones playing more passively. You need to have some rounds of that threat so that DRX can't just walk in for free.
Scuba might be in some trouble here if they continue to commit onto this Garage.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately his job is just get 1 here.
You might get a shoulder. Oh,
he saw the belt, I want to say. But hard to know for sure.
Yeah, and so the ceasefire continues, at least for now. They're rotating back towards A in the face of the 3 into Mata posted up.
Exactly, but this is where Ethan's going to have a paranoia going down the long angle as the hit comes in. That's going to be big. Brock is holding on to a dart. He can shoot out from heaven and then spam with the Odin. This will be NRG's best shot at holding DRX heavy exec onto A.
Paranoia at the ready as the wall goes up and the smoke goes through. The second one is traded. Mata's actually the first to fall. Flashback back sight. And Brock tries to do his best from heaven, but he's smoked off. Can't really get involved in the situation. And with just over 10 seconds left, the spike goes down.
Yeah, Scuba ran down mid, threatened the flank, I believe broke a tripwire. So DRX have sent Hyunmin to deal with the flank. That allows maybe an opportunity to get back in, but it's still one operator for Som.
Tough spot to be in. DRX with the numbers advantage. Flashback does have his ult.
I don't think you play this one, NRG.
I don't think they do either. Yeah, they're calling the save.
And honestly, you look there and you're like, how is it possible that NRG failed to kill more than one player on the exec? I think a large part of it is that DRX were very quiet in the approach. It wasn't DRX barreling down, you know, long, barreling through short like they had on previous AXX.
अच्छा ये चार लोग थे opponent 3 लोग थे but
that forward information to be able to instantly react with the util. They had the paranoia, but still weren't able to deal with these players. I might have liked to see an earlier dart come out from NRG in hindsight. And that, of course, doesn't help.
No, I mean, when Hyunmin's shooting like that, yeah, okay, sure. Snappy out of him. And so DRX hang on to a 2-round lead. They still have Flashback's ult. They still have Mako's ult. Meanwhile, the same two big weapons on the side of NRG, the Op for Mata and then the Odin for Brock.
Yeah, this is looking like that quick short lurk round previously that Fring had been going for, throwing the cage on the cross. This time not choosing it. Usually when DRX have been heavier.
Cheeky little smoke for Mata to tuck in, not get tagged by the dart, and still hold that A-line with the Op.
I like that a lot, although, of course, this time DRX hadn't committed into that space. Maybe going back into that one with a drone later on will be the name of the game.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, they haven't seen that yet, so...
No, not at all.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see that play out.
As a matter of fact, NRG's A-holds have been very passive. It's usually been Brock scouting from long and then falling back into sight.
And so they put their star in this aggro angle. It does not look like he will be tested anytime soon. As DRX continue, I mean, the whiplash and change of pace, how they've approached this attacking side is almost... I mean, it's almost jarring.
Yeah, it's been much slower ever since that timeout. Now just pulling a paranoia. You can see how much, you know, scariness there is behind that drone.
Mata's going to get tested. The smoke just barely taking that line away at just the right time.
Cute little jump peek there to spot the players coming in. And this allows time now for NRG to shift back into the A site. DRX aren't going anywhere, and neither are NRG.
They're waiting on the other side of the smoke. They clear him out. The paranoia through a couple of members here. Brock once again smoked off. Cannot play. They've lost the sight. So NRG will once again try to flood their way out.
Last time on this A retake, it was all about Mata. Expect him to swap over the guns and get back into this site. So much challenges. Now the smokes go out to the site. It's time for NRG to act.
What's the go button? What's the spark? What's the catalyst to go? It's actually Ethan who takes first contact. Som close behind him with 2 kills of his own. Freeing. It's done so damn well, but Scuba up top, it pops into 1v1. Flashback with the ult. Scuba drops down, and Flashback takes him. 6 for DRX.
Flashback choosing to pop the ult there is just instant checkmate. There is nothing you can do dropping out of heaven in a situation like that. Quick thinking from the Neon. And a bit of different hold this time for DRX as well. Getting right up on the other side of that smoke. Stopping them right in the corridor. And that's one of those adjustments we're hoping to see out of DRX in the post plants. Play forward, don't allow NRG out easily. Interesting alarm bot.
Much deeper.
Yeah, forward down into mid, and with the positioning of Mata as well, close garage. I wonder if there could be an idea to maybe peek out off of that alarm bot, because once that alarm primes, you're also going to have Ethan challenging on this higher angle.
Choosing to play full retake on A.
Yeah, the second Ethan sees someone, there goes Mata.
Yeah.
Mata might just go now. I don't know about that.
Yeah, a bit early. Worse for wear.
I mean, but it's a effect of NRG just being denied any amount of information.
Ethan gets his pick, though. And now things slow down once more.
Yeah, the tides turn, whereas before it was NRG without info, wanting to step forward, get something done. Now it's DRX down numbers and Flashback in garage, sees the gun.
And sees Som, gets one, and gets away. Might get a shot at the second. Mata weak, stays alive.
This is awkward though, Doug. 40 seconds left on the clock. Look where the spike is, down on A short. They're gonna fake a pop into B and try to slip this guy up into A.
And that was the relief. That was the last bit of pressure they needed. Clear Scuba falling opens the way for them to go. Ethan has to win out all these fights just to have a chance.
This is forbidden technology. This is the legendary B to A split out of DRX. Gunman made it all the way around, but on the other side of the map, Mata has jumped over the tripwire on the flank.
I think Free knows. He's going to miss the timing.
He didn't hear it.
No. And so Mata slipped the net, but he's so weak. He still might
पीछे
have
से
a shot
flank
this
काफी खाने वाली है.
24 HP. Health be damned when you get a shot like that. Pain's the first to fall. What can DRX do? They try to white knuckle their way onto this site. They try to hang on, and it falls into 1v1 once more. Mata was the surprise, but now all attention, all eyes on him. A tap of the spike, a challenge, and Mata seemingly unwinnable. How do you clear that out? The cam falls, yes, but now the real swing comes through. DRX gets 7.
It gets a bit dicey there towards the end with Mata on the flank. But it was this walk-in from Flashback, I think, gets the team straight back in the round. He ended up falling. But his work into mid.
One enemy remaining.
Just taking straight up duels. That's what won that for DRX.
We'll keep a close eye on those clutch moments.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you've got two really good teams. Those are offensive difference maker. It looks like there's a little bit of B aggression here.
NRG want this walk down. They've heard the spam all the time, but there's not really been a mid swing.
No.
The camera on the right side, though, is going to stop them from continuing the encroachment.
No real way for them to know how much space NRG have taken, though.
At a certain point, you just gamble when the cam goes down, or you just hold for the inevitable reclear.
I have the spike.
They're waiting for now.
Oh, the cam gets pulled back, and now we go.
Immediately. Starting to accelerate and push the pace. They have a trip they're going to have to deal with. Nah, I don't know how you get over this. A bit trickier of a problem. And so Mata tries to go fast, and you see they've separated their timings, freeing, looking for the second. Meanwhile, a couple of ults popped. That will clear the lockdown. DRX still in a position to hang on to the side while Scuba buys his time and waits.
Zombie is taking so much time on that flank. When he chooses to activate, he needs to find some kill. And yet Bane is holding him down on long.
Brock up in heaven, looking to take the fight, falls. The duelist just getting the best of him. Meanwhile, Flashback holding them back. NRG are stalling out here. I mean, the Paranoia will buy a little bit more space there. Som getting active, Scuba getting 2 kills. And just like that, the site's cracked wide open. Mako and Freeing trying to hang on to this site. Waiting for the challenge. The spike has been taken for a little bit. The gun barrel's there and the double swing! Mako and Freeing, hang on!
Mako is a danger player.
How many years later and
Mako
Mako is still just having rounds like that? Great work out of him. And the rest of DRX. Because things got so uncomfortable. The smoke that NRG keep putting down onto the site continue to divide up these DRX players, forcing them to just play on their own.
And you saw it there, the observers pointed it out.
Forcing them to just play on their own. These DRX players, forcing them to just play on their own.
And you saw it there, the observers pointed it out. The gun barrel in the space, an aggro fight here.
NRG want to seize some control back in these rounds. You saw it in the last as well, walking down into B, now taking that forward A space. And by holding on to these forward lines, it tells them almost essentially exactly where DRX are going to be headed. And they can stack heavily onto that side of the map, but it hasn't really seemed like the stacks matter for NRG because of how overwhelming the execs are with the Neon Waylay.
Yeah, you can only invest so much defensively.
It almost feels like NRG are praying for a spam kill to go right so that they can just take some amount of utility out of the equation.
Silence across the map.
Drone now comes in for the reclear. End to Cage to threaten the cross.
Brock is the trap. I don't think they're going to clear him. No, they're not. Beautifully played. But Brock feeling the corners closing in, feeling some of the pressure. Meanwhile, a pit invested mid.
Yeah, Som playing right up in it with a shorty. DRX wanted to pivot back into the B side, but there's an alarm bot, there's a Viper, there's so much to deal with. 30 seconds left on the clock.
He's still in the pit. He's still in the pit, and Women gets decapitated.
So now it becomes a mad dash towards the C site. Still a turret holding that approach. So DRX make the noise, now start shifting back to A. They have to deal with the Neon, and then I believe Maka's gonna ult over into A. They're pinching onto Long.
They're not going to see him. I don't think they know he's there. Mata plays spoiler. 10 seconds left. The spike gets through, and Mata is the thorn in their side. Trying to spam and stop the plan is exactly what they'll do. 3 for the duelist, a flawless round as NRG get to 4.
That's a great round to close out the half for NRG, but they are still coming into this second bleeding. Down 8-4 and being tested really in every single round. It's only this little bait and switch that ends up working for NRG in the final moment. And these shots from Scuba as well. You cannot undersell how powerful Scuba has been on the global stage.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have 5 guys that are just frying. It's just the macro that's been the difference. We've got an interview down at the stage. Lou is standing by with a very special guest from the side.
Take buddy.
Match found. Death match. Warm up.
Oh!
I find them, I kill them. Simple as that.
Fight!
We will reveal their secrets.
There's ये क्या कर रहा हो आप ये क्या हुआ है
Deleted.
राइट
Buried.
राइट
Dominating.
Up. That the immortal. The bright piece is the come. मैं एयरटेल का फाइबर लगाऊंगा तो नहीं आएगा.
Ten kills remaining.
Wow.
Poison's gone. Goodbye.
Five kills remaining. One kill remaining.
Scuba tries to get them back into the round, get back into the action, but it's another mess.
These bonuses just keep on working for DRX. Bane just toying with him on the off angle. Ah! And that just takes NRG out of the game. Bonkar's gonna go ahead and smash the timeout button. The second time he's called a timeout after round 3.
Now, we have long talked about NRG struggles on the attacking side, and we saw their ridiculous comeback on Abyss on the attacking side. But Haven's a bit different. Haven doesn't necessarily play the same way. We can chalk up the fact that they were able to pull that comeback off to the fact that Abyss is very attack-sided, but
sure.
I mean, that said, they are
First
strangers
map,
to a
Allen
deficit
4. I
like this.
think
Yeah, I
नहीं
mean,
जीते
they
यार.
have the
Chinese team
comebacks
danger
like
है.
you're talking about, and I think truthfully, when I look at DRX's comp, they don't have really great tools to stall you out. You know, in terms of a defense comp, DRX are a little bit lacking in that regard. You know, the Cypher tripwires are pretty easy to be dealt with when you've got Sova Util. When you play these slower rounds, I think, is what NRG are going to want. Threaten that lurk and taking the A space behind the wall.
Guys, Prelude,
And
Chaos,
with
Naya,
DRX just
Phantom,
running that aggro look down every single lane. You think they pushed C-Long, they pushed Garage, they pushed A. They can just do that on 2 rounds, maybe throw an ult into the mix, and they'll have just won the game. So yeah, it's going to require NRG to dig real deep here to have any chance of taking out DRX's map pick.
Yeah, it's funny, they talk about swapping sides and how are the double duelists going to work on the defensive side. I'm pretty sure the approach has been the same. Play it super high pace, super high tempo, and don't let NRG get a breath.
I mean, it's the same thing right there. Doesn't even have to press it again to go back. He's fine to get the kill and run out anyways.
And if they commit into this A hit, which it seems like will be the case, they have 3 members of the defense here.
I mean, it's just an execution.
I don't know
Welcome to
how
stream.
NRG make
Chew,
adjustments
यार,
here.
नया बंदा
DRX
लग रहा
looks so
है।
good on both sides of the ball.
You don't really have the time to make the adjustments either, unless Salman
Yeah,
Brock can
man.
do something.
A high-low like this, yeah,
मैं
you
तो
get
वैसे
your one,
भूलता नहीं
but
हुआ मुझे
double,
पता है
triple
like,
face.
टीम में कितने लोग आते हैं
what are you going to do?
वेलकम टू स्टे
Die to freeings lurk again.
10:23 बज रहा है
He's got
खाना खाने के
some
बाद मैं
fully
सीधा
boxed in here.
क्या करने वाला हूँ
Nowhere left to go
सिंगापुर
before
सर्वर
work.
में जाऊंगा और कॉम्पिटिशन और
Snappy
आज
on 1,
सो
3
के आया
on the
हूँ
round,
I
and
can
yeah, it
play
gets
like
that pit closer and closer, but the problem is they're running out of time.
2-3
DRX are
बजे
on
तक
map point.
खेलूंगा बैक टू बैक
And you know,
जीतना चाहिए उस
NRG
दिन
would
ऐसा ही
be
किया
able
था
to
बैक टू बैक
push a map like this off. They've got a lot to look forward to. Corrode and Lotus, their best maps coming up. The fashion in which DRX are just tearing them apart here, they start sowing the seeds of doubt in the back of NRG's minds.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily inspire confidence on that side of the stage. Meanwhile, for DRX, I mean, they look like world beaters right now.
ये मैप
Absolutely.
खत्म होने के बाद मैं
Just
सीधा
riding that momentum from their opening series
Bra.
versus TL.
एम लैप करूंगा या
Getting some bullets down into mid
Yeah.
early on. Okay.
That's with the spike. Cancel out, so they get the Waylay ult out, sure.
Yeah, and we heard the Omen ult canceled, I assume. Actually, DRX are still going back into their spawn to clear just to be safe.
Right? Sure, better the devil you know, yeah.
But now that they've fully cleared that away, they're like, okay, and now what? NRG haven't seized any of these gaps that they've left by going back to re-clear their own spawn. Yeah, it's a pretty garbage drone from Bane sends that out from A-Link to make sure no one got onto the site, but at the end of the day, DRX are still in a great spot.
This trip is still up. Utility has not cleared it.
टूटा नहीं है
Clement's gonna try to push the pace again, but Ethan,
Up.
feeling the threat, off the spike,
Hey,
takes
drip
the
मत लगा है
fight,
ना?
but there's more, there's a layer to it. Science
अब तो नहीं आ पा
behind it. And DRX again, beautiful performance.
That spike sitting out stranded on the B site. DRX have
easily
3
मिल जाएगा
players
वो।
here holding it with an iron grip.
With confidence and conviction, DRX continue
13-4
to push the pace, continue to take the fight to NRG, and every single time they seem to win it out. As close to perfect as you can get. A complete
बोला था
sub on their
13-4
map pick, 13-4 for DRX.
आपको डेंजर प्लेयर है मैं ये आईडी पे काफी डर थी मैं डायमंड पे अटका आज खेलना पड़ेगा लेकिन 10 दिन हटा देता हूँ ये रहने दे और मेरा क्रॉस एयर डिफॉल्ट का यही था
Match found.
रेडिएंट बीच भाई
Death match. Warm up.
किक मार रहा है ये इसका क्या है रैंक डायमंड 1 है
Wind, show me where to go.
Fight.
Keep up.
भाई सब टैप फायर मार रहे हैं मजा आ रहा है अच्छा मैच चल रहा है टैप फायर मार
Dominating.
Headshot.
70 तक जा रहा है, टेबल नहीं है।
Ooh.
देखो कितना लेट है बुलेट है। इसको टाइम दे रहा था। 143 क्या डैम।
Stay down. 4.
दो मन बार
Yikes.
भी आया ना मेरे। अरे बोल
10 kills remaining.
See ya.
भाग रहे।
5 kills remaining.
जी,
One kill remaining.
बाप
Dominating.
रे, कितना मारा है इसने। फिंगर खेला है। Audible off.
Match found.
After dinner must
Death match. Warm up.
अब चल रहा है।
Everyone good? Take a sec if you need.
Fight.
Back at it. Yep.
ब्राउज किया ना उनकी टाइमिंग एडी करना चाहिए। पर ये बंदा इधर है। ये बता रहा।
You're done. Xong đấm na.
B.
Dominating.
There's that. Speaking, Moniba. Too bad. Too slow. Don't be.
10 kills remaining.
Uh-huh.
बस बुलेट एक्यूरेसी नहीं हो पाएगा.
Bang, bang.
Stage पे कितना?
Some them now.
5 kills remaining.
Got 3. 4. Yep.
One kill remaining.
Don't be.
Nice, hey, अच्छा खेला.
All right. Let's run it again.
एक फ्लैट एंड डायमंड लॉबी में खेल रहा हूँ.
Show up real late into this 1v3, and yeah, they're
Roadmap
weak.
लगा है, okay.
And Scuba's been good. But he's really going to have to show up here. It doesn't matter how good you are domestically. International stages are where you make a name for yourself. And Scuba has been thrust into the spotlight now. Spike ticks away, and Scuba has to play this so carefully, so quietly. No challenge given. No free fight afforded. Fully denying any advantage they might be able to pull. And so on the tap, he finds one. That's freeing, one of the weaker ones, but Flashback gets his 3, and that's the pistol. That's 3 pistols in a row for DRX, if I'm not mistaken.
It absolutely is. Not just that, it was both, conversions of the anti-eco and the bonus back on Haven. So we're going to be looking at that. I think you see here just a masterclass out of Flashback. It's only him with a piece of utility to actually breach into the A site.
We don't usually win pistols, who cares?
He was able to lay out Brock behind the box, but yeah.
I mean, that's true.
I
But
care.
also,
let's work on that, I think.
I think NRG fans would like it if they started to win a couple. I don't know.
Yeah, that might simplify the games. That might stop them from having to make the silly comebacks.
Pacey, the flash over the top. They're fully running it down A. You've got a little bit of trouble. Freeing will get one, but fall away.
Unfortunately, it's a FPX buy for DRX, so nothing for NRG to be able to try and reclaim, unless they're able to get flashback here, but he can just teleport across the other side. Yoru things.
Yeah, fine safe pass to choose. Scuba will be up close. Just a classic, though. I think once again, DRX have shown that they can make these teams on the other side of the stage look incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I also think that they don't really have to tell NRG any plan in the second round. You know, DRX have plenty of tape up against NRG, right? NRG are 5-0 on this map.
Right.
You know, they played a lot of rounds. DRX have never played this comp for NRG to be able to download it. They're playing single duelist back in Stage 2 playoffs. And so NRG going for a bit of a rundown round here means that they can't even try to analyze and break down what DRX's approach is going to be, because they just kind of full sent it and blew up the round from the get-go.
Yeah, nothing really to learn there. And so DRX will get their second, and once again, NRG fans cover your ears for a second, because we have to go back into a couple of hours ago, and we need to go back into the history of DRX converting the bonus both halves on Haven. They're here once more.
NRG have to be able to deal on this round. And for me, I always want to look at Brock's Odin. You know, NRG really made a name for themselves with the complete overuse of the Odin on Corrode and Lotus.
Right, the Broden, some might say.
I mean, Brock is always making sure he can buy that, even if it means light armor. This is 4 players on light armor, and DRX have bought up a few guns.
That's big.
I mean, it absolutely is. And yet it doesn't make this game any less simple. DRX have a few players up in B main right now sending Bane into mid to threaten some space here with a Prowler. Maybe pull some attention back into mid so NRG just can't full camp down on this B site. And my question is whether or not Flashback is going to be able to pop the ultimate on this round. Do you actually send that down in numbers to try and convert yet another bonus?
Yeah, I mean, round 3, you've got it early.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, you would have loved to see NRG peek forward for a pick, but here he goes.
The Dimensional Drift will pave the way, or at least get a little bit of info.
And they all dodge the knife.
But there are 2 here, and they know exactly where they are. Women behind enemy lines. TP's back away. And Flashback once again, nipping at his heels, looking to take the fight. And it's a disaster once more for NRG. Saw him the last standing. They crumble.
Flashback has silenced NRG in these opening 3 rounds. Completely devastating this site, popping the old down in numbers. There's not a round left for Som to play.
No. The bonus again.
And this is where the memories of Haven starts to surface once more. You know, you could have written off Haven and said, okay, it's DRX's map pick. We've got our 2 best in the pool coming up for NRG. But now as things start going horribly wrong on your defensive side of all things, those doubts are right at the fore.
I don't think they know where Som is, but he's not even going to take that swing. Just hang on to that rifle and carry it into the next round. We'll take a look at this one more time. This was off the back of an opener too, but this double dive is just...
I mean, the utility didn't even crush NRG. It was just Flashback's flash.
Yeah.
That's it. There was a lot sent that way. There was a paranoia, but it didn't hit them. He wasn't playing off of that. It looked a lot more complicated than it actually was. Every single round has just been Flashback sending one flash and winning it.
Time to jump. 7-1 for the duelist, for DRX. Really getting away with whatever he wants, whatever DRX wants, to be honest.
Now the thing is, with NRG going for light armors in the last round and having max loss bonus, losing 3 rounds in a row, they still have a buy on this. So it's not as devastating as it was back for them on Haven when they were forced to save here.
Yeah, yes. If this one goes sideways, though, Might be telling a different tale. And DRX again continue this jarring, this disorienting change of pace.
And yet NRG can sit relatively comfortable knowing they have forward information in A main. Yes, mid is going to be a little bit light, but they're okay with that. And even if DRX try to come back into B, well, I was going to say they have the knife on Ethan to slow it down. Now that is not an option, and this pop could rip them apart.
Scuba doesn't have a spit. There's a flash, and there's the wall. And again, it's the double dash. It's again, flashback right behind him. Again, an opener for DRX. Brock tries to do his best, but he's just an S-domino to fall.
30 seconds left.
NRG had absolutely nothing to slow down that hit. That pulling, that when Hyunmin goes into the site, just diving into the center there, all of a sudden everyone at NRG is turning to deal with him. And that's exactly when Flashback is coming in, popping them, ruining their hold. This is an NRG without answers.
I mean, a change of scenery, a different map, but it feels to me like the approach for DRX is incredibly similar. And it's the same problem that NRG are going to have to solve. And Yinsu was talking about it on the desk. Bonkar said, we didn't know what to do with that comp.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to deal with it. It doesn't look like they do here either.
Yeah, might be time to course correct, readjust with a timeout, because NRG, one of the weaknesses with their comp is they don't have that typical Sentinel utility. Their B site is weak, and teams in Americas have tried to exploit this. It's limited to success, but like you can see right here, apart from a Viper wall, and sometimes that spit, as you call it, coming down, there's very little stall, and both a Yoru teleporting across and a Waylay jumping over it can ignore that Viper utility. The only honest piece of utility you have to stop that hit from coming in is the KO knife. So Ethan needs to stop using that, I think, for information, to use that to stall out hits.
Yeah. Or what, just start ignoring the Waylay, dashing onto the site, because you know the real threat is the Yoru behind you?
Yeah, except I mean, the one time you ignore Waylay
right,
is when Hyunmin's going to sit in there and punish you for
it. Right.
I think another idea for NRG, like we saw in the last round with the step into A main from Mata, could be take forward space. You see B main right now, they've got two players creeping forward. Now, this isn't going to matter in this round where NRG have two guns and DRX are headed towards A, but these are the types of ideas you can start weaving in there to disrupt DRX.
That was one of the guns. Mata had a rifle. NRG, look, they've flatlined. No signs of life. Who's the spark? It's not Scuba either. As DRX, particularly women, just continues to push forward. Just continues, just body bags, toe tags him, and he just does whatever he wants.
It's just wild watching this. You know, we come where we've watched NRG play this map so many times in Americas. Usually they're the squad that's doing what DRX are doing right now. Just knocking you sideways. And, well, now freeing, playing with his food right behind him. To take two to finish it off with a flawless round.
A shell of the team we saw the first week. Meanwhile, DRX putting the rest of the field on notice.
The way I see it, Doug,
yeah,
I think NRG have really three main options they can play with coming into these future rounds.
Okay.
Bonkar is going to be calling a timeout, trying to adjust here. And two of them I've talked about. I think A, you can try to take that forward fight in mains, set up there so that the scrap is going to be in the main where you're not so concerned about that set piece of a Waylay diving above you and that teleport in behind. The second one is you play on site, but Ethan has to be way more mindful of when his knife is up and using that to interrupt the hit, and you've got to have bodies behind that to fight. And the other one is, and this is the Hail Mary, you need to try and start blowing up the middle of the map, threatening on flanks. You give them the site, but you make the round state so chaotic that it sort of forces DRX to keep fighting forward, and in that chaos, try to win.
And which is kind of what they were doing on Haven, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they fully reverted to this retake approach on sites.
It was the last two rounds of the half where they pushed out through B out of mid. They pushed down A long, and those rounds did go well for NRG, so it wouldn't shock me to see them try to incorporate something similar, at least in the next few rounds.
And so what is the answer for the number 2 seed from the Americas region? What are the adjustments on the other side of this timeout? Because for DRX, the pace has been unyielding, unrelenting. little bit of pressure across the middle of the map. An eye for a knife.
Yeah, NRG have been defaulting this knife down bottom mid at the start of rounds, and
so a real deep smoke in B main that DRX just had to use a dog to clear, scared of the early aggression B main, like
there was even a flash tossed over the top of B there into main. So NRG are showing a lot of force towards the B main side. They're not actually in there, but it's done enough to push DRX the other way. Although, that being said, that doesn't really change the outcome of events for NRG. DRX have been very successful on these A-pops anyways.
And so they freeze, they cut noise, they gather up, and then they just explode out onto the site. That seems like that'll be approach for DRX here.
Yeah, as this split comes into A, I wonder if it's going to be difficult for Mata to quickly pinch into A.
Only 2 on site. The dart's not going to do a ton. They try to cancel out on the other side.
Bane
Odin gets a little bit, but Bane gets more. And now they can call off the side if they want to rotate away. It's just going to be on Som.
Yeah, Som, who's tucked over into the corner on the left side here. Now, Bane is low HP, but he's going to be the bait for DRX. Som needs 2 here to give NRG a chance.
There's his 1. How much more can he do? 2, 3! And all of a sudden, they're up in numbers. Women should be able to get the spike down, though. And now left in a 1v2. He has been a demon. But this time, he falls. NRG, they get on the board.
That is just a Som round there through and through for NRG.
Yep.
They were outplayed through the round.
Revealing area.
Som's dealing with flashes from his teammates too. It's a little bit funny, but I mean, apart from this spam kill that Brock had, it's just Som. Because you have to remember, Bane was left sitting in mid. He killed 2 players that were rotating over for NRG. NRG were hoping to play for mid control to fast flood into A, but between the Viper wall and the location Bane was in, that was very difficult.
And so an exhale as NRG get on the board. We saw the problems with the Odin. Ethan's got his ult here, light armor on everyone.
Where are you? Marked 1.
And DRX not playing fast. Same smoke as we talked about in the previous round, though, that aggressive B main smoke.
Yep. Trying to step up into mid behind the knife, trying to step up behind the smoke in B main, or at least threaten it. That said, this time DRX are positioned to try and re-clear into B main and figure out exactly how NRG have been holding it. I mean, it's wild that NRG have committed yet another smoke into main.
But, I mean, I look at those 2 smokes alone, and that tells me that the approach on the other side of the timeout was to deny space.
Yeah, just toss up a Viper wall of your own.
3rd Omen smoke, B main.
And now the re-clear will come. But you have to keep in mind, Hyunmin and Bane both with the ultimates. They can overwhelm the site, so the positions of NRG are not to really fight it out here. Instead, it's to play back into heaven and then try to retake with Ethan's own ult.
Assuming he stays alive, Mata has to keep him up. Just waiting on the other side of the wall. It's going to be a quick draw. It goes down.
30 seconds left.
Mata spots the shoulders, fights into the swing, gets the best of flashback, gets green too. Now the ult hits out onto the site. The paranoia should buy a little bit of time. The defenses of NRG looking to stand strong, looking to hold.
And look at this, Doug. Mata quickly on the flank through mid with only 12 seconds left on the clock. NRG are moving in.
Flash over the top.
10 seconds left.
DRX through, Mata with 3 on the round, make that 4. Looking for the ace, and Mata delivers.
Welcome to the big stage, Mata. Smile on his face.
30 seconds left.
He is no stranger to the ace. 10 domestically
10 seconds left.
in his first year in Americas. And now here, just thriving in the chaos.
That's another one. That's another one.
they've clued in on this idea that NRG are just forcing round after round so often on those light armors. So what better than the Outlaw?
$335 एक सब
And so on the other side of the
कौन भेज रहा है
timeout, see
invite?
the purchase not great for the attack.
एक road में खेलने दे मुझे
A Vandal, a Stinger.
10
So you presume that DRX will be able to get to 11 and then the game will really start. But we'll see. We've seen a couple of silly rounds so far. This is going to be fast into mid. It looks like the paranoia, the double dash off the knife to take a challenge. They continue to ask Mata to deliver, and they're giving him the tools to do it.
Yeah, so often he's just dropped back though, and with Ethan
title change
dropping out
कर
of the
दो क्या?
round, this one it seems.
Match pound आएगा देखो एक सेकंड
Well, Murphy's Law striking again. I mean, Scuba said it, and honestly, with how this has gone, I am inclined to agree, but also nothing to take away from DRX here.
करूँ क्या?
They've played so damn well.
I mean, it's just been amazing
जाने दो
seeing
यार बाद में
Flashback
करता हूँ जरूरत नहीं
perform at such a high level on the
यही
duelist
तो देख रहा
role.
हूँ
You know, if you're watching Bangkok, he was rocking some Senti for the team, was still putting up
Insane
major numbers. Yeah.
Match
But
found.
been so freed up to go with the plays he wants to go for. And give himself some of that agency with the flashes to take those fights, whether it's on the Yoru or Neon.
I've got all the time in the world.
Interesting using the Nightfall.
Yeah, I think we thought it was a B split coming in.
Yeah. On the timing, which makes sense, and they're still hedging their bets. You still have Flashback rotating. You still have Bane and Mako A. It's still a flawless round for DRX.
All right, it is now do or die for NRG. They've got a buy, they've got ults, they've got Brock Zoden. And for a team that is filled with so many rookies, now Ethan and Sam, they've got the experience. A guy like Mata, he came into the league, tore up the leaderboard.
They might try to pick on Scuba again. Oh, he
team selection क्या है? पुलिस नहीं ले रहा कोई.
Just barely gets away.
Singapore people don't like to play duty.
That had trouble written all over it.
और इधर मुंबई सर्वर में भाई
And so
10
off of that, the
duty.
response is they try to speed up B off of Ethan's ult. Mata TP's forward, spams into the smoke, gets one. You mentioned this was do or die. They have to find a way through, but Flashback hits where it hurts into the second. Brock falls, tucks back, looks for another fight, and it's Freeing who joins in on the fray. Things slow down into a 2v2 with the pit. Actually, forget about slowing down. They want to continue to push the pace. Ethan will drop a volley to provide a little bit of cover, provide a little bit of space. Dropping down from over the box. Ethan's there to greet. Mako left in a 1v2. Decay down to next to nothing. Ethan gets 4, NRG get to 9.
I was told you are all the best. That is why I'm here.
Hey, D3 से D1.
Could I have a drop?
D1.
Hello?
हेलो
Hey, wake up, wake up. Hello.
Right here.
ए
Fall back. Right here.
Scanning ahead.
No peeking.
On that side.
Spike down A.
Drop in a smoke.
One more. Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Got the spike.
Back side, back side, back side.
अरे मेरा हील नहीं था एंटी
That chamber's dressed like
चेंबर
a fancy
50
waiter.
का ये एक भी नहीं
Let's ask him for a wine list.
तेज ने हील क्यों नहीं मारा प्रिंस
I'll find them.
प्रिंस दे रे
Reloading. Woo! Right here.
Last player standing.
55
Spike down B.
my team is tired I think
So, yeah, they don't find them for me.
nice यार
Drop in a smoke.
Scanning ahead.
Cutting their
There
vision.
they are.
No peeking. Throwing net. Have one of these.
Raised it.
Spike plant.
Barrier created. Careful
Reloading.
here.
Have down someone.
Watching here. Enemy spotted B.
देखा पता
Reloading. No peeking.
B. Healing area.
Right here. Enemy.
One enemy remaining.
Results. My old way.
रन
Hold it. I'm still hungry.
भाई 71 and 40
They aren't impervious. We can
Grab a
do
drop.
this.
देख इसके देख भाई तू ने क्या किया पीछे होल्ड किया अगर मेरा मेन
Need a
आईडी
drop.
होता तो मैंने होल्ड नहीं करता
Thanks.
ना ये तू ऐसा समझ कि तेरा मेन आईडी
We win. We survive.
Careful here.
Deploying drone.
Reload.
Right here.
तेज गन रखना सेज हाथ में
Drop in a smoke. Wall raised.
तेज हमारा गंदा है यार हाथ में गन रखना
No peeking.
Planted.
Barrier deployed. Last player standing.
भाई मैं क्या करूँ वो और ले रहा था मार के और ले मार के लेना
My
We demand
ult
a
is
fight.
ready.
Who are we to disobey?
I could use a drop. I'm gonna save. Together. Careful here. Careful here. My ultimate is ready.
Enemy tagged.
Fall back. Opponent killed.
Silence.
Drop in a smoke.
Enemy spotted B.
Your duty is not over.
One tank, one tank, one tank.
Back where I belong.
Spike dropped. I have this. Careful here.
Reloading.
Reloading. No
Shot
peeking.
down.
I'm one of
Still
these.
inside. Still inside.
Blocking movement. All right. Here.
Shot down. My ult is ready.
Back like I never left.
Spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
Drop in a smoke.
There.
ओके
Here.
अरे रेना पे गन नहीं है
Here. Not ready yet. Ultimate ready. They're done.
अरे यार मैं मार नहीं पाया उसे जी
Look your
Zero
enemy
one.
in the eye. It helps with accuracy.
राउंड निकल गया फिक्स भाई तुझे आगे नहीं जाना है खेल रहा है तो कबूतर
Need a drop.
पे कैसे सर्वर का लाइक कैसे खेलता है
Thanks.
पता है ना टीम को आगे जाने देता है टीम मारेगी ओके ये अल्ट था तो एंट्री दे दिया
Bring your best.
to 6
Take flight.
Drop in a smoke. Right here.
See nothing. Blind fool.
Scanning ahead.
Shoot.
Drop in a smoke.
Enemy
Blocking movement.
Shot down.
Here. Catch.
अरे कवर
Quiet now.
Last player standing.
No more.
One enemy remaining.
3 gone.
No peeking.
Revealing area.
भाई मुझे देखा ना किधर से मरा हूँ मैं ये साइड से क्योंकि ये नेट डाल रहा था तो मैं इधर आ गया और इधर से मर गया और पीछे देखता हूँ मेरी टीम पूरी का
Actually, never mind.
भाई कवर ही नहीं दे रहे यार टीम अभी नहीं
I'm gonna save. I will hold up the sky.
Deploying drone.
Fall back.
Enemy mark. I am the hunter.
Right here.
To A.
One enemy remaining.
Drop in a smoke. Spike planted. Right here.
I've survived much worse than you.
Once more into battle. I'm not tired. Are you?
को पाए दो यार.
Come on then! Careful here.
You want to play? Let's play.
Reloading.
और backside.
No peeking.
Scanning ahead.
Fall back.
Shock dart.
Go ahead. Stand your ground.
Sensor lost in scope. Over there. Right here.
One backside.
Right here.
One enemy remaining.
You were right here.
Aye, where to?
Alright. क्या
Can someone get this?
क्या रहा था?
Thank you.
Spider-Man है. ओवर नहीं देते यार. वन मुक्त करने गया. मुक्त खत्म. कान करो तो तेजों का मुक्त.
Break away. Deploying drone.
Careful here.
Enemy spotted.
Drop in a
Shock dart.
smoke. Still inside. No peeking.
Revealing area.
No escape. Reloading. Right here. One. Sensor trick.
Enemy spotted.
One enemy remaining.
My ultimate is ready.
Right here. Careful here. Spike planted.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Flawless.
We are just too good.
कंटेनर चला रहे सब.
Weapon here.
Much as
अरे
this world
गायब.
hurt me, it's mine, and I will kill to defend it.
अस्सी देखो मेरे 80. तब नहीं है. मेरे 1.5 का केडी लेके चल.
My ult is almost ready. Let's play slow.
Take flight.
Reloading. No peeking.
Blind.
My ult is ready.
Scanning
Drop
ahead.
in a scope.
Shock dart.
Deployed. Back like I never left.
One enemy remaining.
Right here. Sensor down.
Spike planted.
Do not fight.
भाई मेरा गन उठा लिया रे.
Even with
खेल रहे
numbers,
ये.
anything can still happen.
मुझे
Remember
समझ
that.
में नहीं आ रहा. 7 आशीष फिर से 7 8